Alright, so we finally got one. A 2DS. Just 2DS, you know, the wedge-shaped one. Okay, let's go turn it on. And obviously when you get a new console, the first thing you need to do is format the system. And let's use the stylus. Right. And other settings, format system memory. Okay, so now I need to enter a pin. I don't know. Let's just take a guess. 000. Pin is incorrect, and I don't know what it is. And so if you do this 3 times, you will say that check the parental control settings. So let's do this. Forgot pin, since we don't know what it is. And there's a question: what did you call your first pet? Well, I don't know, so I forgot again. And tap OK to send master key to the email address. I don't know what the email address is. It looks like it's spelled wrong, so let's do that. This is gonna try to connect to the internet, but obviously I cannot configure the Wi-Fi because I don't have parental control access, so it will fail. And then click OK, and then now you have this inquiry number. So now what you need to do is go to this website, mkey.salthacks.org, and enter the information: device type 3DS. Yeah, same thing, 2DS, whatever. System date, that was on the system, which is today's date in this case. And then additional data, well, we're not using a switch, we ignore that. Inquiry number, so whatever that was there. So you enter the inquiry number and then click go, and then you have the master key right here. So we're back here again. Press OK. Now we have the master key. It's master key confirm. Now we can choose a new pin. It doesn't really matter anyways because we're going to forward. Go back here, enter an access, enter the pin, connection settings, new connection. Format system memory, enter the cook pin, press OK, yes. It needs to connect to the internet for some reason. We'll delete all the download software, whatever, that's fine. Okay, fine. Format. There we go. So the formatting is complete. And so that's how you format a 2DS, 3DS, whatever, that you buy secondhand with a pin that you don't know. So now we can look at the 2DS on its own. But obviously once it's done, you're gonna have to set up. Alright, so I'm done setting it up, and this particular one came with a DS game. It actually came with a few DS games, so I'm happy about that, and it was pretty cheap. Yeah, let's see what we got here. You know, it's smaller than I thought it would be, but it is pretty comfortable. Let's zoom out a little bit more here. That's good. And yeah, only one speaker, so it's mono. It does have a headphone jack, so obviously it still has that. You can still listen to stereo audio. There's a microphone here. Obviously, pretty much the button layout is fairly similar to what you would expect, except for this thing here. There's a sleep toggle. When you flip it over and you go to sleep, only the 2DS has that. The 2DS XL doesn't have that. That's because when you fold it, they'll go to sleep. And since you can't fold this, well, to go to sleep, you have to have a button. So that's what it is. And the other thing too, the bumper buttons at the top here, since it's the, you know, I guess original 2DS, it doesn't have the ZR button and ZL button, just the left and right bumper buttons, right? Also, it doesn't have the C stick, so, you know, unlike the 2DS XL, it has that. Right, so if you're, you know, if you have, well, I don't know what games, but certain games require those, and if you're using this one, you won't be able to play those games, obviously. In addition to that, it is weaker and slower than the 2DS XL, because these are technically new 3DS guts inside, so a little bit more memory, a little bit better CPU, I suppose. I can't remember the spec, but it's, you know, it's been improved compared to the first generation 2DS. And obviously, the main thing too is the screen size. It's actually a big difference. I don't have a small 3DS, so this is the first time for me to see something like this with a small screen, except I do have a DS Lite. So if you, as you can see, they're pretty similar. Like the screen size, at least for the bottom part, it's similar. Obviously, the top screen is different because, you know, wide screen for the 2DS and 3DS. But yeah, very similar in size, not just the screen size, but also the entire device itself. And yeah, and behind the 2DS is just aside from the camera, is mostly nothing there. It's just a flat slab, and there's some nubs for the feet, but it's not rubber. Hole for your stylus is here, and that's pretty much it for the bottom part. And then on the side, you have a slot for the what do you call this, SD card, and it's a full-size SD card. In this case, it came with the Toshiba 4 gigs. I believe this is the original that came with the system. All right, and then on the other side, just a slider for the volume. And interestingly enough, has what do you call this? A thing for your lanyard on both sides. And yeah, that's it, I guess. So why did I buy this? Well, it was cheap for one thing, and I didn't have one, and so I was just mostly intrigued by a non-folding DS system. So, and this is pretty unique in that sense. So gotta have it. And you know, this particular one came with some games, so can't complain about that. And the seller was local to me. In fact, we met up at my child's school. So yeah. And what else? It does feel fairly comfortable in the hand because it's bigger. You can put your palm all the way to the side as opposed to crunching your hand down like this. It feels more natural, but at the same time, there is no way to protect the screen. You know, at least with the clamshell, obviously you can always fold it, and then you know you don't have the risk of scratching the screens. So yeah, give or take, and it's obviously limited functionality with the speakers being mono and all that. Yeah, I mean, it's just an interesting device. So if you've seen my other videos, then you will know that Chrono Trigger is one of my all-time favorite games. So I'm really interested to see how it's gonna look on this 2DS. So let's give it a try. Ooh, okay. I can already see that it's not as sharp. Looking at my DSi. Yeah, here it's just DSi, regular size DSi. You know, which is pretty much the same size of screen at the bottom. You can see the difference. Not just the difference in color, but so looking at how it's supposed to look like. You can see how sharp the fonts are, and then the small little avatars. Now compare that to this one here. Yeah, you can tell, like, let's say for some of the characters, like the E, right? So yeah, it's not optimal. I mean, if you play the game on 2DS XL, it's more noticeable, right? Because then it's bigger, right? So you can see that, you know, it's the same kind of issue, but in a smaller scale. But you can still see it. Let's go back out here. If you want it to be sharper, then what you can do is hold select while you launch the game. So I'm still pressing select until it launches. And then now you see like black borders, because what it's doing now is that it's rendering it in 1:1. So because obviously the DS have a lower resolution. So now, what? Boy, that is tiny. But yeah, if I'll just hold it up close to the camera here. It's sharper, noticeably sharper. But yeah, it's way too tiny. It's way smaller than. It's not even as big as a Game Boy Color, or I mean Advance. Probably is, but now if you have a 3DS XL or 3DS XL, you can do the same thing, and hold select while launching the game to make it sharper. But the size is basically the same size. But obviously it shrinks it, so but it's still much bigger than the 2DS in 1:1. And yeah, and so if you zoom in here, you can see it's pretty sharp. It's pretty much the same size. Visually speaking, it's pretty much the same size, this too, as the normal size DSi or DS Lite. So basically, I'm probably not gonna play DS games on a 2DS. Obviously, it's not as sharp. The screen is smaller, and if you want it to be sharper, then it's even smaller. So really, if you want something small and to play DS games, then DSi is a good option. If not, DS Lite. Right. The main downsides with a DS Lite is obviously it doesn't have an SD card reader. So if you want to play some ROMs, you have to get one of these R4. So that's your option. Anyways, I probably wouldn't use it too much. I prefer this bigger screen on here, but yeah, that said, I'm happy to have it. It's relatively in good condition, except for the fact that there are some scratches for the screen. The buttons, or not chewed up. It's not yellowing. The whole thing is still pretty clearly white. Yeah, so quite happy with about this. What else? I think that's it. And oh yeah, and it came with the original stylus, so, and charger as well. So I'm happy about that. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.